and welcome back to more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom, where last time we began our adventures in Rock Bottom and made our way all the way through the beginning section as well as the first part of the museum. And today we'll be continuing our adventures through Rock Bottom by continuing onward through the museum, and as well as the final part of Rock Bottom waiting for us just through that vent up there. So again, these platforms, you can make your way across them by going sneaky mode so that they don't collapse underneath you, or you can just jump across. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Okay, here, wait for the truck to throw a missile at you, and then jump out of the way so that you know where it's going. You know, you can easily avoid it instead of walking toward him as he throws a missile and then him trying to cut you off. You always want to wait to bait the missile and then move around him so that it doesn't catch you off guard. Same thing here. Wait for the missile to be thrown, then jump across the gap. You don't want to get caught off guard because if he hits you in midair, he will more than likely knock you off the railing and you'll land all the way down there and have to come all the way back up here, which is another good deal because there's a teleport box right down there, but still. There will be later sections where if you fall off here, you'll have to go through all this again, and it won't be super convenient for you. Anyway, again, just either jump across or sneak across. Either way is totally fine. Now you can bubble bolt the tartar sauce into the TNT or into the Thunder Tikis and cause a chain reaction, which is always very, very cool to see. And now we're going to keep walking away across these tires, jump at the very edge, and then spin stall and make your way across here. Hit the first Thunder Tiki, and then quickly move away so that you don't get caught in the chain reaction. Knock this guy out of the way as fast as possible so that you don't get knocked off the edge. I almost got knocked off there, which would have been very, very bad. Here, wait for the tire to swing as close to you as possible, then double jump and then spin stall to make your way across it. Again, wait for this to jump towards you, double jump and spin stall. Same thing here, you want to wait for, first off, this time you're going to have to dodge the lightning to make sure it doesn't accidentally strike you. Keep an eye on the shadows so that they don't strike you. Wait for the tire I was just on to swing all the way to the left, and this one to swing all the way to the left when I'm facing this direction. Basically, wait for them to get as close to each other as possible, and then jump off right here. Now here, what you can do is you can just bubble boy your way through all of them like this, and then just keep rinse and repeating this process until eventually they all get on the same level, and then we can cause a massive chain reaction, kind of like that, which is always very cool to see. Now we're almost at the end, but you'll notice there's two socks. That sock can be easily obtained with SpongeBob, and we're going to get it with SpongeBob. But that one over there, not impossible to get with SpongeBob, but it's a lot trickier, so we're going to avoid it for now. We're going to come back here with Sandy, and then I'll show you how to get it as Sandy, because it's much, much easier to get a Sandy. Again, not impossible SpongeBob, but it's very tricky, and I wouldn't recommend trying to go for it, especially if you're new to the game. It's a very tricky jump to make. So what you want to do is wait for this tire to swing as close to the wall as possible, and then jump off at the very end. Make sure to space your jumps appropriately, as in, like, waiting as long as possible to press the A button, and then spin stalling, like we've been doing for the whole game at this point. And then you will be able to ledge grab to make this, to finish the jump. And then we're going to keep on making our way across here, grabbing this penny, of course. Then what we want to do, oh, well, yeah, so here you'll see that Sandy's swing hooks have descended from the ceiling, which will make traversing this area significantly easier, because we're going to backtrack to this section of Sandy so we can actually get that sock over there. Alright, now from here what you want to do is stand at the very edge of this banister right here, double jump, and then spin stall to make your way around this corner. You want to kind of turn the camera as you come around so that you can make your way across it. Then double jump your way back and spin stall to make your way across here. Basically, you turn the camera as you land. So again, double jump, spin stall, turn the camera so you can, because as I've been explaining, if you turn the camera as you turn, it'll help you make some sharper corners. Because you turn with the camera, which will help you make those turns, like I said. Anyway, we're going to come back here in a second. But first we're going to go to the Trench of Advanced Darkness just so we can get the warp perspective so that we can easily return to this point later. Alright, so this is going to throw you straight into a slide. You can either take the long way around, which is to actually take the slide all the way around, or you can take the shortcut, which is very obviously they want you to take because of how these tikis are lined up. And jump across here, and then it'll also take you right down here where you can talk to Gary.
Hey, Gary. You're on an awful long walk, aren't you? Ow! The Trench of Advanced Darkness, huh? Sounds dark. Okay, Gary, I'll be extra careful.
Alright, so now you'll see that we do have the warp for Across the Trench of Advanced Darkness, which will just take us right back to where we are right now. So this is what we're going to use to warp back here after we're done with the museum. But for now, what we want to do is we are going to want to warp back to plundering robots in the museum, which will put us at the beginning, well, of the museum. Then from here, we're going to want to turn around and jump through this this vent to take us back to downtown Rock Bottom. And then we'll switch back to Sandy with the bus stop that you can find right out here to the right-hand side. So we're going to go ahead and switch back to her before the truck can knock us off the edge. And then take care of the truck before we can do the same to Sandy. That one was pretty close. And from here, there's nothing really that I haven't already explained. You're basically just retracing your steps to the museum that you took as SpongeBob. The only difference is going to be when we get to the very top floor, and then we can actually start swinging across the hook. So I will see you guys when we get to the top floor of the museum. Reminder that you can just jump in this teleport box right here to warp yourself up to the second floor and bypass the entirety of that section over there. Alright, So now that we're here, what you want to do is you want to jump up and then press the B button when you see the hand appear, so you can swing onto this hook right here. The same thing for this one. Then turn yourself to the right, double jump off it, and then press the A button to suspend yourself in midair. And you'll float onto this ledge right here and collect the last sock of the museum. Now from here, you can either float your way across to the end, or you can just warp 2 across the Trench of Darkness, like we did, or like I mentioned we were going to do when we first got there. So yeah, that's the last sock. Pretty easy to get. Just go back up there, Sandy, swing your way across the hooks, and then hover your way over to the ledge, and you can get the sock nice and easy. Alright, now you want to do, there's a bus stop here, but we don't want to use this because we need to do this next section of SpongeBob. You'll see there's some platforms that are going to descend from the ceiling, so just kind of jump across these as they fall down. And then you'll be able to jump your way over to the ledge right here to grab the sock and destroy the Duplicatotron right here so that no more robots will spawn behind you or in front of you. Again, this is going to be another one of the sections where you have to hit the button, which will open a gate, and then you have to make your way around through that gate before it closes with the sponge ball. So this is the hardest one that we've done so far. So again, if you want to take the time to run through the path as a sponge ball first, and then go hit the button, that's totally up to you. I do recommend trying to make your way through this course once as a sponge ball with no timer, then going to do it. So I recommend slowly going around this corner, again, turn with the camera, and then just make a straight shot to the end. So turn slowly around the corner, use the camera to help you turn, and then just full speed ahead, full throttle on the left analog stick to make your way to the end, because it's just a straight shot to the gate, and you should be good. So hit the button when you're familiar enough with the course to think you're ready to do it, and then immediately hit the sponge ball, again, slowly around this first corner, and then make a beeline straight for the gate, jump out, and over the gate, and you will be good to go. We had more than a few seconds to spare this, so that was a pretty good run. And then you can jump on the elevator, take your way up to the top. Again, slowly walk your way up to the Sleepy Time robot, turn with the camera so you can actually line yourself up properly, and then attack to knock him off the edge and get yourself some shiny objects. Next up, we're going to want to ignore the bus stop for now and jump across these platforms so that we can make our way over to this ledge and pay this, or feed this clam 2,400 shiny objects. I said feed it 2,400 shiny objects in order to cause this bungee to descend from the ceiling, which you're going to be able to use to get a sock waiting for us just below. So let's jump onto the bungee like so, and descend down to grab the sock over here on the left-hand side on top of that floating Tiki, which I missed horrendously. Let's try to get it again. I missed it again. Don't worry, we got it this time, and it's ours. Once you get it, you can back out, and what we got sent flying into the air that time. And then you can jump away across, and make sure to bubble bolt tartar sauce as you get it so it doesn't knock you off the edge. And this time we can access switch to Sandy, because now we're going to really need her for this next section, which is called Lasers Are Fun and Good For You.
Plankton, you best not be stirring up no trouble.
Nonsense! I only want to help. Help crush you all under my rise to power.
What was that?
Nothing. Say, see those lasers there?
You mean them things that look like fancy washing machines?
To your puny brain, I suppose. You'll need to turn on each one of those in order to cross the last part of the Trench of Advanced Darkness.
This better not be some kind of trick, varmint.
Alright, so like I said, we really need Sandy for this section because we need her to, well, swing across the swing hooks. But before we hit any of the lasers, we're first going to swing onto this first swing hook, and then jump off the ledge right down here, where you can see a sock waiting for us, like so. Additionally, we need to hit this button to cause a platform to descend, or not a platform, but a Sandy swing hook to descend, so that we'll be able to make a jump to a different golden spatula a little bit later on. For now, we're going to bounce our way up to the top, and from here, it's your choice. You can either, well, after you take out this chuck right here, as well as the additional fodders, then it's your choice. There's 3 lasers we have to hit, and we can do them in any order we want. It doesn't really matter where you start, because we're going to have to hit them all eventually anyway. So I'm going to start from the left and work my way over to the right, so we'll go left, middle, right. And there'll be a Duplicatotron waiting for you at every opportunity, so make sure you destroy all the ones that you reach along the way, so no more enemies can spawn and cause you any frustrations while in your along your mission to hit all the lasers. So once you get up here, you want to make sure you hit the button. You can try to hit the button as you hit the Duplicatotron, kind of like this, so that you'll be, because when you're in the animation of the thing, the laser turning on, you'll be protected from the Duplicatotron explosion. So if you hit the Duplicatotron and the button at the same time, then of course you will be able, you'll be shielded from the explosion, and you won't have to, you won't have to worry about taking any damage from it in the process. Anyway, again, that's 1 laser down, only 2 more to go. We're going to head over here next. Again, you can do them in any order you want. It doesn't matter which way you go, because we're going to hit them all eventually. And over here, there's going to be, as usual, a Duplicatotron and a couple tartar sauce waiting for us. But there's also going to be a painting hiding around this corner you want to make sure you get before you move on. Because, again, we do still need to make sure we collect all the artwork from Mrs. Puff. And we're only missing 1 piece of artwork, and then we'll be able to go back and collect our reward from her. And the final piece of artwork is going to be waiting for us right towards the end of the section, which we'll be heading towards just as soon as we hit the final laser, waiting for us all the way over here. And I do recommend you return to the central platform before you go for another laser, just so you have a kind of base of operations to launch this one, because you may not have enough momentum to get from one platform to another if you don't return to the central platform first to recharge your flight. Also, be careful with the Chuck right here. Watch for when he's going to throw a missile and try to dodge it the best you can, because obviously you can't really wait for him to throw a missile when you're in midair. So just kind of wait for him to throw it. Or, I mean, by which I mean, like, you can't not move until he throws it, because sometimes you'll be in midair as he's going to throw. So just watch when he's going to chuck the missile your way, and then try to dodge it as best you can. If you get lucky, he won't throw it until you land, and then once you land, it'll be easy enough to dodge it. But dodging in midair is a little bit tougher. Anyway, once the enemies are cleared out, you can make your way up here and hit the final button and activate the final laser machine.
I oblige.
Now we can safely exit the Trench of Advanced Darkness. But before we exit the Trench of Advanced Darkness, we're going to want to return to Plankton to make sure we collect our golden spatula, so that we don't leave here empty-handed, because we did all that hard work, so we may as well get a reward for it.
Nothing a little southern elbow grease can't handle.
And there's our golden spatula. Alright, we're almost to the end of Rock Bottom. We just have one more quest to take care of outside of course, returning the arbor to Mrs. Puff. And of course, excluding the one that's blatantly obvious right over there. There's still one more quest with a character we haven't spoken to yet. But before we can get to that point, we have to swing across this gap. And here, this is very important. Don't move an inch, because even though you can slow your walking speed as Sandy and Patrick don't enter a tiptoe mode like SpongeBob does. So even if you're going as slow as possible, the Sleepy Time Roids will still detect you for some reason. So the only way to take them out as Sandy is just to do this. Lasso the Thunder Tiki, and then sit back to watch the fireworks. And then you can collect your final piece of arbor, which we can now go back to speak to Mrs. Puff and collect our reward. Then jump on top of these rocks, there we go, jump on top of these rocks, hook onto this Sandy swing hook, and swing your way across the gap to land here and collect your golden spatula. And now if we do a quick check, well, once the game is finished saving, then we'll do a quick check, and you'll notice that we have collected all the socks, and we're just missing 2 spatulas. 3 spatulas. One of which we'll get for getting across the Trench of Darkness, one of which we'll get for returning the art to Mrs. Puff, and one of which we've yet to unlock, and this is that task I was alluding to earlier, where we have to speak to a character we've yet to meet in Rock Bottom, and then he will give us a little quest. And it has to do, hint hint, with that slide that I mentioned at the beginning of the last episode. Anyway, again, you can't really do much here, except for try to knock a fodder into him, but it's a fodder, it's not going to do much. So I recommend just going around the Sleepy Time Robot, because again, you can't sneak up on him like you can with SpongeBob. So it's just best to float around him and destroy the Duplicatotron and make your escape. Because again, for some reason, the slowness or the sneaky thing only applies to SpongeBob and not the other characters. So it's just best to completely ignore him and make your way over here, lasso the truck out of the air, and destroy any other robots that try to mess with you along the way. Let's keep on moving along. We're almost at the end. You can see our golden spatula just in the distance. It's so close. Here's where things get tricky. Basically, what we have to do here is, again, since you can't directly attack them, you have to jump around their field of view and then hover to this little ledge right here, and do the same thing here by floating around this area, and then land here. Then quickly turn around to smack the Duplicatotron with a kick, like this. And then from there, we are going to do the same thing. You can try to hit the Duplicatotron over here if you want to. I don't recommend it, because that you have to go way further into the field of view or under their cone to actually hit it. So I recommend just grabbing the golden spatula and then making your escape through downtown Rock Bottom. It is not worth trying to destroy these things, because like I said, as Sandy, you can't really do a whole lot, because the sneaky thing doesn't really work as her. So once you get your golden spatula, you can head through this gate right here and make your way out. Does the prompt want to appear for me? No? Am I stuck here forever? Can you let me out, please? Game? You want to let me leave? There we go. That was weird. The prompt for letting me leave wasn't appearing. It wanted to keep me trapped in the Trench of Advanced Darkness forever. Anyway, now that we're over here, what we're going to do is we're going to want to walk along these platforms and switch to SpongeBob so that we can complete our final quest of Rock Bottom, which involves talking to Mr. Krabs.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, what are you doing?
Well, I could have sworn me I saw a golden spatula here a minute ago, but I think it fell down this slide.
Down the slide? It might have broken its leg. I've got to save it.
Go, boy, go! Save that poor spatula!
So we could have done this one earlier by exploiting the level design by floating across the gap as Sandy, but I wanted to save it for last because it's kind of fun. Plus, it's kind of on our way because, you know, you leave the Trench of Man's Darkness and then you're put out right here. So it's a nice way to end the level, and of course, it's on our way, so we may as well have done it in the order we did it anyway. Basically, the goal here, there's nothing much to it. It's just sliding your way to the end of the slide. You can intentionally hit the Thunder Tikis if you want to along the way to get some extra shiny objects. Just make sure you don't hit too many, or else, of course, if you hit too many, then you will lose all your health points and die, and that's not fun. So if you want to hit some, you can, but just don't hit all of them. And so long as you just slide your way at a normal pace by going full speed, by holding forward on the control stick or the left analog stick the whole time, you'll make your way to the end just in time to grab your golden spatula, like so. So yeah, nothing much to it. It's pretty simple, nothing too complicated. Just a simple little sliding challenge. A nice fun way to end off our adventures in Rock Bottom. Then once you get it, you can hop back in the teleport box to warp your way back up to the top, and retrace your steps that we've taken along the way to return to Mrs. Puff waiting for us just right at the beginning of the area, who will give us our final golden spatula of Rock Bottom, and then we can return to Bikini Bottom and make our way over to Patrick to collect our final golden spatula for the episode, during which we will exchange 10 socks, and then we'll be done. So here we are, Mrs. Puff. Here's all the artwork.
Piece of artwork accounted for, Mrs. Puff. I left no strange, glowing stone unturned.
Well now, nice work, SpongeBob. The museum will finally be able to reopen, and here's your reward.
I feel like the museum probably wouldn't have been able to reopen as long as there were all those robots in there, but thankfully I cleared all those out too, so, you know, that's convenient. Anyway, once you collect that golden spatula, you will have cleared out the whole of Rock Bottom, and we are cleared to take the taxi pad back to Bikini Bottom. Now, as I said, to end things off, we're going to quickly hop in the sponge ball and roll our way over to the first part of Bikini Bottom and exchange our 10 stocks for a spatula from Patrick.
Wow, SpongeBob, you found some!
Now they're back home, safe where they belong.
Here's your golden back scratcher.
Spatula.
I don't speak Italian.
And that'll be it for now. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Goodbye.